Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming again. It's really, really exciting. I'm excited to have this chat with the dearest Shakana and my brother Musakis. Today, we're going to be tapping into a few areas just to get to really dive into the process as well as just the journey as a creative. And that brings us to our first topic, which is songwriting.
I would always put myself as a singer-songwriter just because I approach songwriting from a singing perspective. It's important for a person like me to have another writer in the room because that helps me get the idea out faster. But the first two projects that I made, I wrote by myself. And it was so rewarding to know that I could do it, but it doesn't need to be that difficult. I work better in collaboration. Yeah. So find that person. Yeah.
Amazing.
One thing that could be happening to a lot of y'all right now is that y'all think having a writer is the worst thing. Beyonce has writers. All of her hits are written by people, you know? I feel like sometimes having a writer is not also just saying, I'm not that great or I'm not good. It's actually sometimes getting a perspective of somebody. Like, yo, I have this love situation where I got heartbroken and all of that. Maybe I'm a little bit too emotional to put it down in words right now. But I have somebody I can tell my problems to. Like, yo, I'm actually going through this and I would love to translate it to like music, you know?
I am a big fan and really passionate about songwriting. I do believe it's like number one when it comes to like the music industry. It's like the best thing ever, you know? Like melodies for me, again, when it comes to songwriting, personally, top. A great song can take you from wherever you are to like some of the craziest room in the world. Just a song. I always call it like a 2.5 minute of magic. So like when I write songs, I've always like, how do I bottle magic in 2.5 minutes? Every single second needs to be magical. If it's a keyboard, if it's melody, like, but how do you take all that magic and bottle in like 2.5 or 3 minutes? The music and the art is always about that envelope, you know. Take that boldness and take that step to push the envelope. We want to hear the most original, the most authentic, the most bold, you know, unboxed, crazy, loud, you know, unapologetic you. Publishing really will protect your rights as a composer, as a songwriter. Having a great publisher can do, I do believe, two things, if they're doing the job, of course. First, assisting you in really building a great community of other creatives. Secondly, you get to learn along the way because a great publisher will really get to assist you in really fine-tuning your craft. On top of that, really protecting your rights. It's a complex business, and I do believe don't try to do everything on your own. Find the right people to work with. I mean, there's a lot of artists doing self-publishing. It's very tedious, really. If you got the time for it, very highly likely you won't have time to make your best music.
There's so much money that your music is making that you're unaware of. I saw yesterday an article, crazy thing about Spotify has paid 265 million, right? Yeah, in the past 3 years or something. And that's just Spotify. So imagine how much more money is there from radio, from TV, from, you know, if you've registered yourself with Samro, it will hold you down like in times of need where maybe you're not gigging enough. You're not having enough shows to pay for your bills. Go to your publisher. Your publisher probably has a lot of money from you for you, you know?
I mean, when you have a publisher, you don't need, they'll sort out your Samro membership. They do all the collection. It's sorted, you know, but they can only do that when you have the right song. You know, and this is actually crazy that I'm going to say this, but I'm not really emotionally attached to masters. Even songs, actually, as a songwriter, you know, in the old time, I'm like, man, this is my legacy. It is still your legacy. Music is there to be shared, given. You know, you'll see a trend of a lot of creatives that are really going to publishers actually selling their catalog, be it masters or publishers and neighboring rights. And it's crazy because 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you wouldn't say a young artist like Justin Bieber will make $300 million selling his catalog. That for me, how you need to see, that's how far it can get. Like your ideas are wealth. So please, when creating them, put a lot of attention, a lot of care, and a lot of laugh into them because that could be really life-changing maybe for you and generations to come under you. It's art, and I look at masters as marketing tool. Music sales are great, but I can tell you most of biggest artists, be it Beyonce and Rihanna and Ed Sheeran, they've been on like 10, 12% royalty most of their career. And they are doing incredibly fine. On a personal level, I've pretty much owned most of my masters, but I'm also not necessarily attached to them. I love the fact that I created the ideas. But if someone came with the right price for them, they'll get them.
I needed to hear that because I'm very attached to my masters. Your thoughts and your ideas are gold. They are worth more than any number you can put to them. My masters are something that I want to always stay with me and my family. But when it comes to contracts, it's our industry. We set the rules. We don't have a union. There's no rules. And if you want to give them one album and they say hasn't been done, it's been done. It can happen. And I think I've been in situations where I've just accepted what people have told me as God's truth. And that's not the way. Being signed to a certain label might not work for you if you're doing this genre. Be able to go where the music is being served the most, I think.
We work with people, right? Man, before money on crazy advance, I look at human capital. I look at the people, like the people around. Like, I don't care how much money is on the table. So many times I've been in rooms where I've been offered more money and the people are not right. So I was like, this does not sit well with me because anyway, it's my money. I'm going to pay for it. So I'll go for way less money with the right people. Always. It's a golden rule. Way less money in the right people because in the long run, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people that I've still worked with today, I've known for like 12 years because nothing is impossible when you have the right people, man. And people think like for you to reach a pinnacle in your career, you need like the weekends manager. No, you don't. You need the people that are really passionate about your craft and you as your passion and your vision. I mean, you guys have seen how Shekinah has done really incredibly well and her sister is involved.
I can tell you now, I put my sister above any other professional person that I've worked with. That's how I picked my team. That's how I signed my contract. Was purely based off of the people. They understand my process. They help me. They know when to apply the pressure, when not to, and they care about me.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate. Just to be quite honest, if a label is offering you little money, they're not going to do shit for you. They won't. Everybody I've seen who got little money, there's nothing happening, bro. If a company is willing to give you 20 million, trust me, they're going to work. That's 20 million. I can't just wake up and say I'm giving Trezor 20 million and hopefully his album will bring back the 20 million. No. At the end of the day, we're trying to get back our 20 million. We're trying to make sure that we even make more than 20 million. I've had a fair share of my own money from my music. I've known how much it is to get 80% of your master. It feels so good. It's so much money compared to when you're going to be getting a 12%, you know. For me, I haven't signed a deal yet. Being independent makes you do so many things alone. For you to shoot, you come up with the concepts and all of that. For whatever you do, you need to be hands-on. Sometimes it's okay to just learn about that thing and know just so that you don't get ripped. You know, I've done so many deals, campaigns and all of that, but I was struggling to deliver. You know, I would give them the best content. For them, it's the best. Like, yo, best artist to work with and whatever. The only problem is that it took me so much time because I did not connect with the brands, you know. And it goes back to what they were saying. Having a team that really understands, it needs to feel natural. If anything, whatever I do as an artist, I want to feel natural.
You know what's exciting for me? They live in the future. You take IP, you take masters, and they get to be treated as commodity, like shares. That means if today you have a song on Billboard, someone can go and measure the royalties that it will earn for the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even 15, based on certain metrics, and be like, this song will make roughly $8 million over the next 10 years. Therefore, there is enough risk, so they take certain percentages of risk. We can be able to pay $5 million for it. Your catalog might not necessarily survive those 10 years, right? So that's a risk factor. So for me, I know in 10 years' time, if I work with a certain amount of money today that get given to build, very high likely I'll overperform the royalties I'll get. Do you understand? And at the end of the day, that song will still be my song. I'll still perform it. You'll still see my credit because I wrote and produced it. Please look at yourself as a business. You're creative, first. But secondly, look at yourself as a business because you create assets that are really very valuable. It's very important, guys, to have an identity as an artist. I'm not just talking about sound identity. As an artist, you need to be an identity. You feel me? You feel me? You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
Yeah.
You gotta be the fresh you, the coolest you. When you can afford it, you're gonna have stylists, whatever. But in my early days, man, I was just putting on my fedora hats, whatever. I'm like, this is the coolest things I have, you know what I mean? And that's what goes around PR and aligning, you know. Funny enough, my earliest ever brand partnership I did with Ray-Ban, and that's before I even released my first single. Aligning with brands is part of an artist's career, which is really, really important. And this project, incredible project, Culture House, and in partnership with Hunters, is a testament to that. It's really about aligning vision. You gotta always find people that align with your vision.
Marketing, branding is like after your music is done, that's number one. My way of marketing my music also is performing it. You know, whenever I perform, I always make sure that it's a different feeling. I always want people to fall in love with my music again every time I perform. I need you to feel like it's a new song. So how you present yourself is really important.
That's amazing.
Now, because you guys have such different sounds, how did you each know that this is the sound that I'm going with and this is the sound that works for me personally?
Sonic identity. I love that topic so much. I wanted to incorporate elements of my journey. I grew up in Congo. I traveled the whole continent. I've lived in South Africa for the longest time. I've been fortunate enough to travel the world. So I collect all those experiences in sounds and stories like collectibles and box them to make the music. I feel as a continent, we have such a diverse landscape of sounds, you know, from West, Central, and Southern Africa. Man, by the way, shout out South Africa, man. For me personally, it's the best musical country on the planet right now. Like the most authentic, the most original, the coolest, like ever. I'm not being biased because I live here. It just amazes me every single day.
The journey of finding yourself is a long journey. I've experimented quite a lot. And for me to get my sonic was literally comfort. What made me feel comfortable?
We were many different types of people in our household. Some people were listening to Kwaito, some people were listening to Britney Spears, some people were listening to Tamia. So I like to put in what I love. I like to be pop. I like to have a soulful sound, so more of a soulful tone. And then I also like to have an R&B rhythm. So I like to just do that because that's how I grew up, in a household where we all listen to different types of things.
How did you get to a point of allowing other writers in?
Writing and making music is very sacred to me. I don't even think about money. I think of the level of understanding, creativity, creative connection. I could write, but not with many people. I think in my whole entire career, like at least for my own stuff, I've co-written with like maybe 5 people. And a lot of the time it's people that really, man, I admire that person. There's something special. So my advice to anyone that when it comes to collaboration, man, it's gotta be great. Like for me, at least personally, like I open that world to anyone that I believe will be able to bring something really phenomenal and add to it or even make it better. Don't go in a room, create music for money. It will never make any money anyway. I'm just being honest. You know, because it's not authentic.
Music is not just us and putting logic together. We are feeling each other. It's energy, it's spirits, it's everything else but papers.
I had to let writers in because there was a demand for music. It got to the point where I was creatively stifled. So I needed to be around people that could help me get out of my box. Me making sure I serve my audience is worth more than me having all the royalties. So that's why I decided, Sheck, write with other people. It'll be fine. This music is not to serve a financial purpose. It's to serve the people that need the music.
Most of your favorite artists, if not 99%, barely write 5% of their songs. And you know what? they're still so dope, man. And you guys adore them and you love them. And that's really what matters. It's not never just about the artist.
A lot of artists are encouraged to have a huge presence on social media. How do you guys incorporate that into the artistic style that you each have?
I think TikTok is amazing. I'm not on it yet. I was. I think it's really incredible. But also I think to each their own as artists. You understand? I think it's important. It's important to understand that not every artist needs to be a social media star. Frank Ocean is not. Daft Punk is not. But those are some iconic artists of our time. If the music is incredible, man, everything just comes crawling back into the center because the center is so incredible.
So yeah, like if when you want to be that silent underground guy, great. You don't have to be on TikTok. You don't. But if you want to be that and that's not part of your character and who you are as a person, unfortunately, you're going to have to learn, you know?
Yo, I hate social media. So, but there's two ways of doing it, you know? Like, whatever you do, you have to do it your way. I'm not going to have a dance challenge ever. You know what I mean? So it won't be a dance challenge that I'll be doing. But I will sit with people and try to put together something for social media. But I wish I didn't have to.
We got to do what really align with what we're trying to achieve as an artist. Please don't do things out of pressure, man.
How do you stay grounded? How do you still remember where you are from and to where you are going? Because I know there are temptations.
I guess it's in personality, really. Like for me, I feel like a lot of things come with music. When you have a moment, there's quite a lot of noise and a lot of not really nice noise that comes through, right? And sometimes people lose sight of what's really important. I do believe you should always focus on your fundamentals, your most important things. It's music and business.
I spend a lot of time with my family. I exercise a lot. Yeah, and I stay with my friends, people that knew me before. I have friends from high school. They always keep me grounded.
That, to sum that up, it's being wholesome. Yeah. Do wholesome stuff. When you're an artist, you don't have time to do wholesome stuff. That can, if that's your everyday life, you wake up to that, you sleep to that, that can really kind of stir you away from reality, you know?
How do you guys deal with having to talk to people, especially you, Musa, because you had to be independent for so long? How did you deal with having to approach people and sell yourself and market yourself the way that you did to get to where you are? Second, how do you guys deal with rejection?
The industry is really tough. Rejection is part of the journey, man. It really is. And you need to embrace every part of it. In fact, I think every time I got rejected, it's always a funny story I tell people. I got so excited because I felt like you get closer and closer. Yes, because you get better. Man, you'll laugh if I tell you how many songs were rejected by 5FM because my English was not really clear enough. When I dropped my first album, I had like 4 number ones on the same radio stations. So for me, that was a challenge, you know. So it's so your journey is determined on how far you can be able to push yourself. No one else knows, understand your dreams like you do.
If anything, I always go for it, man. Like, I feel like everything that I've done, I've always just said it so casually. For me, everything feels casual. For me to get a Grammy nominee, I told myself, I remember meeting my team, the first meeting we had, like my management team. They're like, so what do you want? And I told them, like, I'm going to get a Grammy. They're like, okay, we are thinking, yes, I don't care how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. I believe that I am good enough for a Grammy. And guess what?
Period.
And like he said, rejection happens, hey? Fortunate enough for us gents, we've been rejected by women quite a lot of times coming up. So rejection, it really doesn't feel like rejection anymore. It's familiar, like, oh, you're saying no? I'll try the next one. Bye. You know?
And rejection is the only reason why I'm here today getting to speak to you. So it's good. And I hate the way it feels, but it's good.
Hi guys, so I have a question from someone in the stream. Luyanda Mazibuko is asking, what exactly does it take for a creator to actually make it in the industry? Is it talent alone or it comes with other factors?
5% talent.
Yeah. Talent is very minimal. We need the music to activate the bus or the engine to go. In most cases, you can sing your whole life, man. If the business around your singing does not make sense, it's kind of pointless. You're gonna sing the rest of your life to go die broke. It's a business at the end of the day, and it needs to be treated like one for it to be able to sustain itself and have a longer run.
Yeah. Business, ethics, good team, good people.
If you're really trying to make it into the industry, trust me, you're gonna have to work, hey? It's not as easy as it seems. A lot of artists linger around with the hope of their talent to save them, thinking that no, this song will just somehow become big. Songs don't just somehow become big.
There's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of tears, and a lot of things that go into the music. But I think that's what really makes it worth it. Number one on the list, discipline. What do you want? Every single day of my life until today, I do at least, even if I'm sick like a dog, one thing that builds toward my dream every single day. And I've been doing so for the last 12 years. If you want it that bad, go get it.
Have you ever had a situation where there was a deal that was on the table and you with your teams have like some conflicts with signing the deal because maybe you feel like it's not for you, but someone else in the team feels like, nah, this is a deal for you. And if that's the case, have you been in a situation where it's like, okay, we ended up signing and it turned out to be a bad or a good deal, or you didn't sign, and when you look at it now, you're like, it could have been.
Rule number one, don't surround yourself with yes people, because they never help anything. You always have to be challenged as an artist. Deals will always come when your art is right. You're never going to run out of deals. You know, people give you ultimatum, you need to sign all the deals off them. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It was never the right deal anyway. I do believe in always getting the best out of situations. Number one, put yourself in the right position. As an artist, the time you're begging for a deal, you're gonna always not get the right deal because you're not in a powerful position. It should always be the other way around. So there's a lot of facts for me. It's like you need to understand what are you trying to achieve, and please understand, it's never emotional. It's business. People can laugh, people can be kind and check on you all they want. If you don't know them for the longest time, it's business.
The conclusion has to be something that makes you happy as an artist. I take my emotion out of it. You will advise me, tell me that, yes, that's cool, I think this and this, but at the end of the day, I make the decision because that's what's going to make me feel better.
I am an emotional being, so I have people around me that are not connected emotionally, and it's important to have people that think differently to how you think so that you get a better perspective on anything.
Can we please get a round of applause for Musa Keys, Trazo, and Shekinah?